Welcome back to the Coaches Show. I'm Brian Stanley, and back with me in the comfort chair, the coach's chair, the driver's seat this week, because they're on the road, head coach of your Mission Prep Royals, David Schuster. Coach, welcome back to the show. Last week we had a bye week. I missed football. Good thing is our YouTube ratings went up a little bit because our fans missed football too, so they went back and watched the tape. So that helped out greatly. But how you been, Coach? How's the team? How's everybody shaping up this week?
Good. Last week was a little frustrating, but happy with the way the team's handling it. There's been some interesting growth opportunities for this group, but I know everyone's really coming back, really dialed in, really happy with their focus right now. And I think it's been a great reminder for us and for everybody in our program. None of these games are guaranteed. I think that was the biggest thing coming out of spring football was that, hey, be thankful for your opportunities because none of this is ever promised or guaranteed, and you can lose it like that. And it was, definitely had that feel last week. And I think it's been a great opportunity for some young men to really learn and develop some opportunities to handle personal discipline, time management, kind of get their house in order a little bit academically, and kind of, there's been a little bit of an intense first part of this school year, and rightfully so. That's just kind of how things go at Mission Prep. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot thrown at you, and so I think it was a great couple 4 or 5 days. We shut the program down on Tuesday and just basically sent everybody home and said, hey, take these 5 days, do what you got to do, handle your business, and then we're going to come back on Monday ready to roll. And happy with where they're at and excited to play.
Coach, I really feel that there's a sense of your military background that comes into that, giving your players leave time per se when you're on base and your leadership feels they've worked you too hard. They give you the weekend pass. I feel like that's what you're doing to your players, giving them the 5-day pass to go live life before they come back to the trenches. So
it might be some of that. I think a lot of it was also we just got to a point on Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember which day it was, but where we just, I'm looking at practice and it was becoming unproductive. We were no longer getting better. It was, kids were, you could just tell the focus wasn't there. Everyone knew we weren't going to play that Friday. It was obvious we weren't going to be able to get a game. And so it was just kind of, the energy was bad. I didn't like the focus, even the coaches, myself included. It was just, everything was like, all right, you know what, man, we need a break. Let's reset, let's refocus. And there's a lot of young men that you got to remember, 50% of our team has no concept what a real high school academic year is supposed to be like at Mission Prep, much less what a football season is supposed to be at Mission Prep. And it's not like any other place. There's so much expected of you. There's a leadership component to every kid in this school. There's there's a huge faith component to everything that we do. There's a lot more that's put on the plate, and for at least 50% of this school, certainly for the football team, they have no concept of what that actually is like. And you can tell some of these kids are really kind of a little bit like, man, this is a lot right now because we're back, we're in class, we're doing everything like we normally would. And so I think it was just kind of a great opportunity. We had 3 straight days of everybody coming together and working academics and teaching a little bit, some time management, just going, hey, like we're going to reteach some basic principles here. And then from a football standpoint, we're going to reteach some basic ideas here as well for what every day is supposed to look like for progress and how are we getting better every day. And so by the time we got to, I think it was Wednesday. By the time we got to Wednesday, I felt like we'd gotten to a point where we weren't getting any better. So let's go find some other ways to improve ourselves. We did grade checks every day the rest of the week, and the kids really started to use their time wisely. So I was very happy with how we finished. It was unconventional, but I also felt like the break was very necessary. So
Let's move on to something that's popped up on the Twitterverse, and that is the 805 area rankings produced by Ballers 805 VC. Now, I bring this up because there's been some controversy or some feedback from people, including Joe Bailey from the Santa Maria Times, about these rankings. And then another person said that this is a proxy for Mission College Prep. And you and I briefly talked about this, and we both don't necessarily agree on the order of these rankings. So we'll give the fans, if you want to go follow this, I don't know who this individual is running this account. We want to give him props for his efforts. Granted, I've done top 10s, and mine have been ridiculed by many, so I understand, but it's Ballers 805 VC. And just to give him a plug, so his top 10, top to bottom: number 10, Arroyo Grande; number 9, San Ynez; number 8, Napomo; number 7, Westlake, who's 3-1; number 6, Santa Barbara, 4-1; Camarillo's at 5 at 3-1; St. Bonaventure, 4-0; Mission Prep, 3-0; Simi Valley, 5-0; and Bishop Diego at 4-0. Coach, what do you think of these rankings?
Well, I appreciate the love from this individual. Don't know who this guy is, and there's at least 4 or 5 teams on that list that right off the bat we would struggle mightily with. That I don't know how we would beat some of those teams. I do think they probably have, Bishop Diego's probably 1, Simi Valley's 1A, and it'd be very interesting watching those two play. Simi Valley's my alma mater, so it's a little, but Coach Binkert he's got all the talent in that area over there at Simi Valley, and they are absolutely loaded. St. Bonnie's got to be 2 or 3. I don't know. In Camarillo, realistically, we're not beating Camarillo, and so I'd also throw St. Joe's in there somewhere. They're still incredibly talented.
Yeah.
So I don't know where you place us, but while I appreciate the love, we're not number 3.
Well, there's
and I get everyone's got their rankings, everyone's got different ones for everything, and I do think we're physically very impressive, very happy with our team. I think we've got certainly the best team I've had since I've been here. This can compete with a lot of teams out there, but I don't know if we're that good.
Well, I do give the individual credit. He's cast a very wide net, which makes it even harder to do these rankings. A lot Max Preps rankings and such are computer aided, and us street folk don't have that technology available very easily unless you're Stephen Hodges, who makes your own. And but when I would do mine, it was the Channel League, the Mountain League, and the Ocean League, or the Northern League when we had the 3 leagues set up. And so it was a small net to cast, but he has a big net. I would cast in this Mission Prep 5 or 6. I would move Arroyo Grande and San Ynez up. Both those teams knocked off Lompoc on back-to-back weeks, and Lompoc has one of the hottest players around right now in Dickerson, he's blazing up the trail in Lompoc, and he's a force to reckon with. And these teams are competing with that guy and the product that Jones brings out every week in barn burners. And so there's a lot to go here. And so much love for the rankings. We all have our opinions on them. But much love to the rankings. Let's move on to something else, Coach, before we get back into Mission Prep action. And this is giving you some love because you were spot on like a hammer on the head of a nail one drive into the board. We talked St. Joe football last week, coming into the week 0-3, looking to avoid that 0-4 start. And you said they've been playing the tough schedule. Something I overlooked. That schedule was on the road for the first 3 games, and then they went back home and they played Santa Teresa out of San Jose, and they went big, 54-7 for the first win of the season. Coach, you were on the money.
I mean, I appreciate it. It's I think it's just one of those. I've been coaching for 12 years now, and you know enough programs, enough situations, you kind of know how certain teams develop. And Coach Villasenor is a really good coach, does a really good job with his program, and there's a lot of other. I'm guessing a lot of extenuating circumstances with some of these other things. They get a lot of kids eligible this week, with all the transfers that they've got. So I fully expect they'll be even better this week. I don't really know of anybody right now that's going to beat them the rest of the way. I think they'll probably go 7-3 and probably be the hottest team coming out of Central Coast. And a lot of people are not going to want to play them in playoffs, would be my guess.
It'll be interesting to see how everything plays out down the stretch, and it's going to be a battle, definitely in the Mountain League. And as we veer back towards Mission College Prep, let's stop off in the Mountain League or the Mountain League, the Mountain West Conference, that is, excuse me, and talk a little alumni football for the Mission College Prep Royals, and check in and get your kind of your opinion, your assessment, your thought. Again, we have Dalton Strauss out of Wyoming. We have Carlton Brown III up at Nevada with the Wolfpack. We have Asani Berkeley up at San Jose State with the Spartans. Coach, the Mountain West is packed right now. We got Boise State. Fresno State's hot. They're ranked right now after a big upset. I don't even want to call it an upset. A big win over UCLA this last weekend. Air Force is back with a lot of players that set out the COVID season. San Jose State coming off the Mountain West Championship win. Nevada's stacked. This is a conference that's on the verge of being a huge contender nationally on numerous levels. But which one of these athletes from Mission Prep has the best opportunity to make a run with their team at a chance to playing for the Mountain West Championship?
Well, I think I'd start by saying Fresno State. I saw them in person play Cal Poly and was really, really deeply impressed, but also very much like these guys are a lot bigger than people are giving them credit for. They are massive on both sides of the ball up front, more than I thought they would be. And they can do some special things. That quarterback looks really, really good. The running back's really tough to handle. And I left that game thinking, like, man, UCLA is going to have some problems, and then everybody else in the Mountain West giddy up. Wyoming, it's a tough question to answer. I guess I'd say Wyoming's 3-0, and Dalton Strauss has played a huge role with them. He's doing really, really well there. I'm a big fan of the Wyoming program. I love the way they operate. I think they're always in major contention because Coach Bull's got a tremendous background. He breeds tough kids, man, and they play very tough. And that's always something you got to account for it. I got to feel like they're going to be right there in contention. I think because, and I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at the list of who's actually in which division. I think because Nevada and San Jose State are in the same one with Fresno, it's going to be pretty tough to beat Fresno right now. I don't know. Nevada's probably got the best shot. in my opinion. For I'm a high school coach, who knows? But
Yeah.
these guys they're doing some great things in every one of these programs. San Jose is rocking and rolling. But I think watching Nevada play Cal, the offense is really hard to stop. They got weapons all over the place. Certainly some local Central Coast guys that I think everyone's kind of actively rooting for. Carlton's starting to play a big role for them in scout team, and that's awesome to see. Asani's doing the same at San Jose. But I feel like this year, Wyoming's probably got the best shot to actually make it because everybody else has to go through the buzzsaw of Fresno State. And Wyoming's an extremely tough team. And I just think they got enough pieces in place and a better pathway to get to the championship game than Nevada or San Jose State do. So,
well, that caught me off guard. My pick in this one is not what probably most would suspect, but I was going to go with Coach Norvell and the Wolfpack as the front runner to be able to compete for a Mountain West championship out of the three schools with representation from the Royals, just because of what he's been doing up there and building that program with Toatawa from the Central Coast and Elijah Woods from Atascadero and Toatawa from Lompoc. And I listened real quick. I listened to the UCLA broadcast because Fresno State didn't have it on the varsity app. I have a bug in my face, sorry. And they kept calling him Toa. So, and I'm like, no, Tawa. It's a different word. It's spelled completely differently on paper. But that's just the journalist in me. Coach, let's wrap things up. Let's go back to this week. You're back in action on the road, kicking off a 4-game road stint. We're going down the coast to Carpinteria to play the Warriors. I hate to say this, they're limping into this game 0-4. That's not a way you want to start your season. You're coming in on a hot 3-0 start. Coach, you both have a common opponent now with Brentwood School. Brentwood School, you beat 49-7 last week. The Carpinteria Warriors lost to Brentwood 45-0. Coach, this matchup seems a little David and Goliath here without David having the stone to help him out.
Yeah, it happens sometimes in high school, games that were originally scheduled, and by the time you get to them, the matchup looks very different than it did earlier. We're certainly very, very physical, and we play a physical brand of football. He's rebuilding that whole program, and so it's going to be very interesting to see how this goes. We're preparing for them to be really, really tough. I've played Carp before in the past, and every time we've played Carp, they're an incredibly physical team. A bunch of really, really tough kids in that town. Got a lot of respect for them, and I certainly expect that to be something similar that we'll see this week. A very physical brand from them, with a bunch of really, really tough kids. And maybe the matchups don't all work out there, but they're certainly tough, and they can get after it. And there's a lot of kids that have no fear. You can see that on the film, and so we're certainly got to come in here every single day. Our goal is you have to find a way to get better every single day, and that's Monday's practice, Tuesday's practice, all the way to Friday's game. We got to leave Friday's game going, yeah, we absolutely got better today, and that's the goal no matter who the opponent is. That was the goal against CVC. It's the goal against Carpinteria. So we want to make sure we leave here, whatever happens on Friday. And if the game gets out of hand, well, obviously we'll quickly adjust and minimize any situation, bad situations there. If it's a dogfight, great. We want to be prepared for that dogfight. And so either way, we want to leave that game Friday going, we absolutely got better. We're ready for league. Let's rock and roll and get working on Atascadero. So that's the goal for Friday. I'm excited. I'm excited to compete. I'm excited for some kids to get opportunities to play and get better. And we'll see what happens.
Coach, that kickoff is at 7 p.m.
Mhm. Yes, it is.
7 p.m. on prepsportsnetworks.com for all your action live. I will be there in person calling the game. This is the last week of the mood lighting at Grandma's House Studios as we get an upgrade next week with new lighting equipment. So we slowly trying to upgrade things to present a better show for y'all, and it's coming. So again, this Friday, 7 p.m. live from Carpinteria, California, your Mission Prep Royals versus the Carpinteria Warriors on prepsportsnetworks.com. Pregame at 6:45. I'm Brian Stanley. Joining me is head coach David Schuster of your Mission Prep Royals. Any final words, Coach?
Well, we're all good.
We're all good. We'll leave it at that. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.